What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Charles Enoch. You already know we back with another Invest in Myself episode, baby. Where's the intro at? Okay, so today I want to talk about how I purchased my rentals using my Helocs. But before we get into it, you already know your boy has to do the YouTube thing. So your boy's close to getting monetized. So I'm gonna ask you guys, help a brother out. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead, smash that like button for me. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead, take a little time, hit that subscribe button for me. And if you like my content, please think about making a donation to my Patreon page. And this will be in the description down below. And also leave a comment, tell me what you think about the video. I do appreciate anybody that does these things because it does help me reach a higher audience base. So I've been in the process of refinancing and pulling Helocs out of my main property and also my rental properties. And this is because the equity in my properties has risen so much because of the market. And right now, the interest rates are very low. Now, what I'm starting to see is there's some areas in the US housing market that the house prices are actually starting to drop. And it's not necessarily a market crash, but it's kind of looking like the properties are starting to stabilize itself out in regards to pricing. And I think it's because people are really starting to refuse those very high asking prices. I've seen properties in my area where they're starting to drop that asking price by $5,000 or even $10,000. Note, if you're new to the channel, the rentals that I usually get, they're around $50,000 to $60,000. Now, in the current market that we're in, they're going for about $80,000 to $90,000. But now they're dropping that asking price $5,000 to $10,000. So we're kind of seeing it stabilize out where it's coming down and getting closer to that $50,000, $60,000 range. So I'm pretty much preparing for my area to stabilize out sometime early next year. And how I'm doing this is refinancing and getting my capital available through the Helocs and the equity of my property that I've gained. Now I want to show you guys how I buy and maintain my rentals using my Helocs. And I do this by buying the property in full. Now this will not be a demonstration of a BRRRR strategy, but more of how I analyze the expenses on my property, such as insurance, maintenance, property tax, and what my cash flow generally looks like. So you already know I got the whiteboard in the back, so we're gonna get down to business. Let's go. All right, so we're on the whiteboard. You already know I get down to business here. So these numbers are gonna be pretty similar numbers to my situation in regards to the market and financial situation. So let's take a look into it here. So the income per month is around $8,000. The expenses are going to be around $5,000, which leaves a cash flow of about $3,000. Now let's say that I've refinanced and I have my Helocs and I have a total of $147,000 in capital on my Helocs here. Now, for the market here, I don't think it's ever going to be the same as 5 years ago. So I've kind of beefed up the numbers in regards to what I think is going to be a good deal in the earlier part of next year. So we're going to have a rental property. It's going to be about $65,000. Now again, about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm used to getting them for about $50,000, but I think $65,000 is going to be a pretty legit deal come next year here. And we're gonna say the rehab is about $10K. So the rental is gonna be $75,000 pretty much that I'm gonna pay, and I'm gonna use the Heloc to pay the $75,000. Now the rent comps going on right now for these types of properties that I get, again, these are single family homes, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, pretty much starter homes. The rent is going for about $1,000 in the particular area that I have. The insurance is about $62.50 per month. The property tax is about $83.33 per month. Now again, we're going to use the HELOC to pay the property off in full by taking the cash, putting it in an account, and then we're going to wire this and we're going to get the property, we're going to do the proper maintenance on it. It's going to be around $75,000. All right, so we're on the other side of the board. So we're going to just break this down and analyze the numbers, see what our cash flow is, see how much we're going to be paying monthly, and the mindset of why I'm doing this here. So we're going to go to number one here, the monthly payment. Now, again, we paid $75,000 and we used our HELOC to pay the property in full. Now, one thing that I did forget to mention, the HELOC is probably going to be around 5%. I'm just going to kind of round it up, 5% for the HELOC here. So for simple interest, how we calculate this is we're going to take the 75,000 times it by 0.05, that's 5%. That's what they're going to be charging us in interest. Divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. We're going to get $312.50 in interest. That is what they're going to be charging per month when the balance is $75,000. But the more we put in there, you're going to redo that formula. Let's say it's $74,000, the interest will be even less. So for month one, it'll be $312.50. So we can see how the interest will keep going down, 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 which will increase our cash flow. But for step one, we're going to use this formula and we're going to see what the interest is per that month. Now the next step is we're going to see the insurance. So the insurance is about $750 for the year. We divide that into 12. That's $62.50 per month. Now the property tax is going to be about $1,000 for the year for the properties that I get in my area here. We divide that by 12. That's about $83.33 per month. So the total expense per month is going to be $458.33. Now we're going to fast forward to the income. So the income per the property, we're going to get $1,000 a month in rental income. So for our cash flow, so to calculate the cash flow, we're going to take that $1,000 minus $458.33. We have a cash flow of $541.67 would be our cash flow. Now I know what you guys are thinking is, hey Charles, you don't have anything for maintenance or emergencies, right? So my HELOC has $72,000 in it left for emergencies or for maintenance. Now my mindset is I fixed the property up where it is in very good condition, so I don't see that there's going to be a lot of maintenance issues. So I don't calculate that as a monthly expense. I just know that my HELOC has money for emergencies. Now, if you have the mindset where you feel like you know how much the maintenance is going to be, because again, I don't have to save up for maintenance. It's just going to be within my HELOC. My HELOC has emergencies, so I'm not thinking of saving up. But if you're in the mindset, you want to calculate maintenance in there so it can reduce your cash flow in your head, you can do that. Again, how the velocity banking method works here is we are going to be putting all of our income into the HELOC, or even just the rental income into the HELOC, and whatever we need out for maintenance or emergencies, we take out. Since we have a cash flow, it's going to be paying the HELOC down and off. So we're going to go to the next step. Assuming the cash flow stays at $541.67, which it will not, because again, we have to look at the first step of how to calculate the monthly payment. If it's not $75K, and let's say it's $70K, the interest is going to be even less. So our cash flow goes up every single month, unless you have an emergency. But again, since we fix the property up, it shouldn't be that much emergencies here. So we're always going to be getting that cash flow. Our interest is going to be lower, which our cash flow is going to be higher. So with that being said, we're just assuming $541.67 would be our cash flow every month. It will take us 11 and a half years to pay it off if our cash flow is just that, which is going to get higher and higher. So I say probably about 10 years. And again, what we're doing is that $1,000, you put that straight into your Heloc. Every single month you put it into your Heloc. And then whatever you need out of it in regards to insurance, property tax, however, you draw it out and then you pay for it. Again, since we have cash flow, the Heloc's getting paid off. And that's how I think about it. Again, no maintenance or emergency things. I have a Heloc for a reason. Now, our next step is property is paid in full, meaning you can refi and pull equity out to buy another property. Again, I'm not going to be talking about the burst strategy, but just know, since I paid this rental in full, that means I can pull money out of that rental. Now, the rental cost me $75,000, but we don't know what it appreciates for after it gets fixed up. Let's say it appreciates for $100,000. If it appreciates for $100,000, let's say the bank will give us 75% of the equity, right? So that means that we get $75,000. And that means that we can buy another $65,000 property and then put $10,000 in it. That would be our 75. So again, this is my strategy in regards to how I buy my rental properties and the method that I use to analyze my expenses and to predict the emergencies, right? Because since I have money in my Heloc, again, I'm not concerned about emergencies. It's not an expense for me. I don't need to save up money. I have the bank's capital. So I'm just putting my rental check in there, keep putting it in there, keep putting it in there until my property is going to be paid off. So I hope this video was informative. If so, definitely leave a comment down below. Again, if you like my videos, definitely donate and support my Patreon page. Remember to hit that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead, take a little time, hit that subscribe button. And like always, you guys have a good weekend. Peace out.